with Buddy Simulator, and now we're going to do the nighttime stream and read a little bit more Morgana. Probably for about an hour, maybe a little less, we'll see. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes for people to filter in here. So I will just go to this. And yeah, we're just going to give it a couple minutes here. Actually, while I'm waiting, maybe I can see if I can remember again to get this to show up on the stream. I still haven't fully mastered it yet. Is this it? No. God, I don't know why this has to be this way. I think the only way I get this to work is to first put it in a window. Yeah, there it is. But it's really annoying because every time I've got to make it a window and then make it not a window. Alright, here we go. Also, I need to let me just check something. Check. Okay. So I did a couple things to my noise gate and general volume settings, so you guys should be able to actually hear the music, sound effects, and my voice pretty clearly now. Just wonder, let's try some check. Okay. Maybe should go up just a tiny bit. It should come down just a tiny bit. Okay. That should be pretty good. Okay. And here we are. Alright. If you remember last time we left off, looks like this brother and sister are gonna have quite a conflict. Things aren't looking so good overall. But the maid had just pulled us out of this memory to let us know she made a mistake. And so we're gonna find out what that was. This may seem sudden, but I must confess that I made a grave mistake. My transgression is that I was unable to completely predict where this path we were traveling led. My hands were full dealing with my immediate day-to-day crisis. Day-to-day crisis? I guess we know where my mind's at. Day-to-day tasks. So I could do naught but pray there was happiness waiting in the future. Happiness for everyone who lived within Rose Manor. But I am but a mere maid. There are limits to what I am allowed to do. And furthermore, it was not my place to offer her my hand. Roads such as the one we are following have a way of diverging with little warning. And if you do not turn the wheel exactly right at those sudden forks, you may end up somewhere horribly off course. I was well aware of that fact, which is why I thought that what I did was for the best. It's happening again. I made sure the door was closed, but I can sense someone standing there. Someone watching me. Footsteps. They're looking down at me? I want to open my eyes, but I can't do it. Curses. You're just going to leave without doing anything, aren't you? Then hurry up and get out of here. Free me from this torture. No, tonight they're on my bed now, looking down at me. My neck. What? I can't speak. I can't move. Ah, these cold fingers. That soft breath. What? Why? I can move my body. That's not important right now. You smell of roses. The scent of a world far removed from ours. He made to gasp at the sight before him, only to realize he could not. The pressure of her cold fingertips wrapped around his throat robbed him almost entirely of the ability to breathe. Why? He silently mouthed the word. For that moment, at least, her melancholic ruby eyes were focused wholly on the flaxen-haired young man. In them glowed a faint flicker of willpower and a continuously burning agitation that roused her to action. I told you to stop being so kind to me. Why? It will all be over soon. Please don't make any noise. Why? To put an end to this family. You are my only. Why are you shaking? What? Upon hearing Mel's words, the strength drained from her slender fingers. He had not been questioning why she would do such a thing. There was, of course, a trace of bewilderment visible in his eyes, but he did not shout, nor did he tremble in fear. He instead expressed concern for the young woman who looked like a cornered rabbit. I am not shaking. You are. I can see it. As he slowly regained his breath, Mel's voice too grew clearer. Conversely, the red-eyed girl's grew progressively more faint and raspy. You are not doing this because you genuinely want to. There is some other reason. This is what I desire. Have you been to my room before? You have. I'm sorry. Well, I'll be damned. Tell me, why are you shaking? You're not putting any pressure on my neck. Why haven't you run? Because I cannot fathom why you would do this, so I'm not afraid. Do you hate me so deeply you want me dead? Do you despise me to the point you would be willing to take my life with your own hands? No, I don't. See, like I said, there's another reason. If it isn't because you detest me, then tell me, why is it? I am sorry. I'll leave your room now. I'll do my best not to bother you any further, so please forget anything ever happened. Do you think I'm just going to say okay and let you go? Why can't you tell me the reason? I'm sorry. Alright, then I'll try and guess. What? It has something to do with your lineage. You're troubled by it somehow. Am I right? I thought so. How do you know about that? The priest at the church told me he had seen you before. He also told me a little about your origin. But that's all I know. The only difference between us is social rank. I don't know what would cause you to do this. Please, tell me who you really are. Tell me why you came to the mansion and why Father allowed you to be a maid. I haven't said anything to Mother or Father. If you're hiding the truth from them, they still don't know. But I want to. I won't get mad at you or have you punished. I'll even swear to God if you'd like. I want to be the prince who whisks you away. I want to be like the prince who rescued the girl from the dark mansion and showed her the world. I know I'm not that dependable, but I want to help you. Why? Why do you show me such compassion? Why do you treat me like this? I have my hand around your neck. Why? I thought it would be obvious. Or have I not expressed myself well enough? I love you. Every time you push away, it crushes me. I didn't even know my heart could feel such distress. If you dislike me and don't want to be with me, then Well, I'll just have to live with that, as much as it may hurt. But if you have some other reason, some weight on your shoulders that you can't share with anyone else, tell me. I want to help you. There are other options. Things we can do about your... No, that's not it. Huh? I've tried to hate you so many times. So yes, there's more to it than just social status. But I can't do it. I couldn't make myself do it. What do you mean? I had so many chances, but I couldn't do anything. She spoke in a stifled voice, as if every word had to fight to escape her lips. She appeared so fragile, so precarious looking down on him, that it seemed as though, if a gust of wind were to whisk through the room, it would blow her away completely. Her pale fingers were trembling, like she tried to squeeze them again and failed. However, her hand did not pull away from his still slender neck. Her hand was so cold. He did not challenge her, but simply kept his eyes fixed on hers, as if carefully watching to see what she would do next. I'll say it as many times as I must. I love you, and I wouldn't be able to accept losing you without knowing anything. So please tell me the reason. I'll see to it that you're taken care of. Those are the words of a man of means, Lord Mel. Of someone blessed enough to have pity for others. You are a foolish young man. You know nothing. But the greatest fool of all is myself. If you agree to punish me, I will talk. Tell me. Her long white hair and his soft flaxen hair touched. For just the briefest of moments, it appeared in the darkness as though they had fused together. The white-haired girl, having finally gathered the courage, began to slowly tell her tale. On the night of the storm, I paid a visit to Rose Manor, this mansion. My father and I were always on the move, traveling across the land by foot, so it was only recently that we heard rumors of Rose Manor. There are several reasons we couldn't stay in one place. First is my unusual appearance. People often find the color of my skin or eyes disconcerting, so after living in one place for long enough, unsettling rumors would begin to spread, forcing us to leave. Another reason was my father's line of work. He painted pictures for a living. He had trouble finding a patron, so he had to work day to day. When he was no longer able to find work in a city, we would move. We were birds that migrated without a flock. When we arrived at this town, my father was exhausted and weak. That is when we learned of Rose Manor and the family who dwelled within it. Rhodes is a name my father could never forget. He was, long ago, a painter in service of the Rhodes family. Hold on. Your father was an artist here? Yes. He was before I was born, so you probably don't remember, Lord Mel. So, you knew about us before you came here? For as long as I can remember, I've known the name Rhodes. My father was chased from your house, just because they didn't like something he painted. Having failed the Rhodes family, no one else would become his patron. Just as a good reputation spreads, so too does a bad one. Branded once as a failure, no one will take you in ever again. You nobles throw your parties and spread your gossip about this painter or that sculptor. The rose you tried to give me is an example of that. It was certainly crafted with skill, but the jeweler is only known because some aristocrats spoke highly of him. My father's paintings were no less skillful. His was a talent that could not be easily imitated, but no one was willing to separate the art from the artist. The Rhodes family stole everything from my father, but even thrown out onto the streets, his only skill was painting. That was all he could do to earn a living. What little money we have for food, he gave to me. He did anything he could to ensure my survival, even at the expense of his own well-being. My father passed away in this town. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his fingers through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. If I had a normal appearance, I'm sure life would have been much easier. He was always telling me how sorry he was for making life so hard, even though it's not his fault I look like this. I disdained the Rhodes family for putting my father through such hardship. I imagined you were still living in decadence, acting as though nothing had ever happened. No, you wouldn't even care about the fate of one simple painter. Our lives meant nothing to you. And so, I sought to bring misfortune upon you. And that's why you tried to kill me. In truth, I had wanted to take the master's life, but your father spent so much time outside the mansion. And so, you're right, if they lost me, it would put my family in a very difficult position. That is the whole of my tale. You now know about my father, and how I feel about you. Having told you of the blackness in my heart, I cannot go on living like nothing has changed. Please give me punishment. Why? Why would you have me put the one I love through any more misery? I am not fit for your affection. Not only because I am not aristocratic, but because every time I spoke with you, I did so holding this darkness in my heart. Does that not unnerve you? In the end, it was my family's actions that caused you so much suffering. Would that your father was still alive. Perhaps I could have done something. I'm sorry. And besides, you hesitated. You didn't actually kill me. What am I even to punish you for? As you said, you had countless opportunities, but you could not bring yourself to do it. Tell me, why couldn't you kill me? Because If it's because I've given you enough reason to have even the slightest bit of interest in me. Nothing was as I envisioned it. What? I assumed the residents of Rose Manor would be cold, people who believed that wealth and rank mattered above all. But on the night of the storm, the mistress was the first one to extend her hand to me. I arrived at the mansion disguised as a beggar. Actually, disguised is not the right word, as many nights I only survived on the generosity of others. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite, she took me in as a servant. So that was Mother's doing. I could scarcely believe she would invite a stranger into her home, that she would treat a stranger with such compassion. I thought perhaps she knew who my father was, but I had never met any of you before, so she must simply be that kind-hearted a woman. And the mistress continued to treat me with kindness despite my disquieting appearance and the darkness in my heart. In time, I began to grow less and less sure of myself. Was what I meant to do truly right? Were the things I felt truly justified? But it was a certain fact that my father was here and that he had been chased out. So I decided I should take your life to put an end to everything before I wavered any further. And then, you were too kind to me. It's all your fault, because you laugh with such affection, because you give me smiles like that, because you say the things you say. I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. I'm so happy to hear that, despite the unusual circumstances. Please, don't say you want to leave. Don't ask me to punish you. I couldn't do anything for your father, but at least allow me to do something for the daughter he cared for so dearly. You are far too kind-hearted. I'll be happier with you around. You can become a real aristocrat. Huh? There are families that would be willing to adopt you, especially knowing it would bring them ties to the Rhodes family in the near future. Are you saying, as long as you're okay with that, of course. I don't understand how you could possibly say that. I have my hand around your neck, even as we speak. It seems reasonable enough to me. I'm desperately looking for some way to not have to lose you. But I couldn't. I don't know any etiquette or social customs. How could I? You can learn all of that. You're pretty and naturally graceful. You'll do just fine. You're such an aristocrat, Lord Mel. What? The way you can come up with compliments so easily. Only for you. Nellie says my poetry has as much charm as a dissertation. I don't understand theater. It puts me to sleep. You laughed, thank goodness. Keep smiling. You don't have to stop. A smile on your face is a smile on mine. No matter how deep the darkness has taken root in your heart, it can always be removed. I believe people are capable of forging their own futures. What do you say we go to the theater sometime? I promise I won't sleep through it. At the private theater, we can get seats at the far end of the second floor so we don't have to stand. They would be pretty lavish seats, and it would give you a chance to experience a noble life. But please, don't be shy. I can have clothes prepared for you. I'll ask one of the maids who can keep a secret. Say, the one with the black hair? She kind of scares me, though. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How could you show such compassion for me? I tried to inflict harm upon you. Am I allowed to feel such joy? For every day you suffered, a day of happiness. That's how it has to be. So stand by my side. He softly whispered the girl's name. For several long moments, her lips trembled in trepidation, but in time, she squeezed them together and made a smile. He wrapped his arms around her unbelievably slender, frail frame, holding her tight in an affectionate embrace. Mel approached me the next day. He explained to me the course of events, and then asked me to dress her up more beautifully than any other noble girl had ever been. She was already a very pretty girl, so even without much effort on my part, simply putting her in a dress, she radiated beauty. I was quite partial to her smile, so I agreed to help, thinking if it would lead to their happiness, I could not ask for anything more. I never anticipated what would happen next, though. Perhaps my hopes were unreasonable after all. Now, Nellie, you love the theater, so don't look so cross. Humph. Nellie was out with a man other than her brother that evening, a rare sight indeed. And she was quite clearly in a foul mood. I will not stand for this. That I should have to marry a man as disagreeable as Arthur. It's unthinkable. The young man at her side was Nellie's fiancé, selected by her parents. On any other occasion, she would have snubbed an invitation from any man who was not Mel, but she had little say in this matter. She was, for lack of a better word, forced to go out with him. And oh, how furiously she had fought against it. She had shoved aside the Abigail trying to fasten her corset, locked herself in her room, and sobbed for quite some time. It required the combined efforts of several of us to get her ready and out the door for her date. Come now, you should at least pretend you're enjoying yourself. Or do you want people to think we don't get along? Do we get along? Well, I want to, for what it's worth. What it's worth to you is my name, not me. Are you really going to be like that? I went out of my way to take you to your favorite play. The least you could do is be a little kinder to me. What was it called again? Romeo and Juliet? It's been running for 6 or 7 years now. A family like yours or mine could pay to have a brand new script written. So why should we have to see an old play at a theater full of commoners? It may be private, but even so, I would rather just have a show put on at my estate. Stop talking already! Why should I have to marry someone like you? I have absolutely no desire to marry you. Whatever it takes, I will put a stop to this. I'll talk to Father as many times as I must. Please, don't make such a scene. It's shameful. There are people around. Remember, you represent your family. Besides, our families are hardly strangers to one another. Try as you might, I doubt you can get rid of me. No matter what you say, you can't break this engagement. You don't... Your parents gave you too much freedom, and look at what a spoiled little girl you became because of it. Goodness, you're going to be quite the handful. Oh, get off your high horse. No, you're the one on a high horse, Nellie. You are going to be my wife. You could at least put some effort into liking me. What happens when I take you to a social engagement and you act like this? It's shameful to the both of us. This coming from someone who used to call me Lady Nellie. What's your problem? When you choose to act like a lady, I'll gladly call you that again. Goodness gracious. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I have to marry a bratty little girl because it will help my family. How dare you talk about me that way? You're not a damned princess. Open your eyes. If you think talking to your father will get you out of this marriage, you're welcome to try. I doubt he'll have it, though. Otherwise, you can just go complain about it to your friends. Oh, that's right. As far as I'm aware, you don't have any friends. Enough! As you wish. This is so frustrating. Why should I have to listen to this jerk mock me? I have Mel. I know. If Father won't listen to me, I'll ask Mel to talk to him. Mel will be able to convince him. Come on now, your favorite play is about to start. Maybe you should face forward. Enjoy it while it lasts. You won't be talking down to me for much longer. What? Oh? Is that... Wait, Nellie! Get back here! What is that damn child's problem? I didn't give her permission to leave. Father will be sure to hear about this. I cannot have the roads making any more of a fool of me. You're fine. Don't be shy. Aw, she looks so cute. But so many people are looking at me. That's because you're gorgeous. No, it's because I look strange. I assure you that's not the case. It is true you have an unusual appearance, but right now, the unique color of your hair, your skin, and your eyes all serve to accentuate your beauty. You sound like a prince, Lord Mel. What? You think so? I mean, I did say I'd be a stand-in prince for you, but... I think you're a wonderful prince, not just a stand-in. Which makes you my princess, then. I don't... Aw, you're supposed to say, yes, I am, there. You're going to make me sad. I guess I'll just have to keep working at it until you submit. Oh, hey, the play's about to start. What am I supposed to be doing? Nothing in particular. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Oh, but there is one thing. Yes? If I start dozing off, could you maybe wake me up? Hee. Huh? What? Dearest Mel. Nellie? Dearest Mel, what are you doing here? I asked her to join me. It's nothing to get worked up over. It is. It absolutely is. How many times did I ask you to come with me and you wouldn't? You don't even like theater, dearest Mel, and you brought her? You're right, I'm not especially fond of plays, but I wanted her to be able to see one. Why are you making such a big deal out of this, Nellie? She's not suitable for you. What? She isn't good enough for you. Why would you choose her? She's creepy and you have no idea where she came from. Don't talk about her like that, Nellie. But you don't even know who her family is. I do. What? Lord Mel? It's fine, you just stay quiet. Like the other maid, she comes from a respectable house. I looked into it. However, circumstances prevent me from telling you what house that is. No, you're lying. That can't be. She doesn't act like a lady. She lacks etiquette and she probably can't even dance. You expect me to believe someone like her is from a good house? Enough already, Nellie. Mel yelled at me. You have my word, you don't have to worry about her. So please, stay out of this, Nellie. It isn't any of your business if I spend time with her, is it? But dearest Mel. You need to stop hanging all over me, Nellie, and find someone for... Wait. What are you doing at the theater? Are you here alone? Oh yes, dearest Mel, about that, I have a favor to ask of you. I've been waiting to talk to you about this since yesterday, but I haven't seen you at all. Settle down, Nellie. What is it? Father had me engaged without consulting me, and he picked Arthur, that disagreeable little... Oh, right, that. I already know. What? I heard it from Father. That reminds me, you didn't show up at breakfast this morning. I see now. It was because of your engagement. Dearest Mel, is that who you're here with today? In that case, you should get back to him rather than waste any more time with us. You knew I didn't want to get married, Mel, so why? Why didn't you talk Father out of it? Because it's your time, Nellie. If there's someone else you'd rather be with, then, well, you can try persuading Father, but... You're the only prince for me, dearest Mel. And a prince always grants his princess's wishes. Doesn't he? I just want you to say you'll do that for me, dearest Mel. Lady Nellie, you stay out of this. It's all your fault. It's all because you showed up and played your little tricks on him. I warned you about this rat, dearest Mel. She is not suitable for... I told you I'd had enough already. How much longer are you going to continue acting like a child? I can deal with you being a spoiled little girl, but how dare you be so derisive to someone else? Mel hit me. Lord Mel. Go on, the show's about to start. People are giving us dirty looks. Return to your betrothed, now. I will apologize to him afterwards as well. You said you would always be by my side. That you would always be my prince. The time for make-believe is past, Nellie. No! I refuse to believe it. I will not have it. Nellie! My goodness, that girl. Are you not going to go after her, Lord Mel? No, just let her go. The only place she even has to go is home. I just wish she'd start acting a little more like an adult. I imagine Lady Nellie simply... She what? No, it just wasn't my intention to get between you. Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault we had an argument. But you two are so close. Well, yeah, we're siblings, so we're close, but nothing more. I do care about Nellie, and I enjoy spending time with her. She's my sister, nothing more. Anyway, sorry for making such a scene. No, I imagine she left her betrothed behind without saying anything, so I'm going to go apologize to him. We have to keep up appearances. Stay here, I'll be right back. Very well. Oops. Master, what are your thoughts on the tale so far? Which of the siblings do you think was in the right, Master? The brother or the sister? Oh my, I apologize for the abrupt question. Did I startle you? What do I think? Yes, I believe Mel was probably right. He was also surely happier than her. As Mel had anticipated, Nellie fled from the theater, leaving her fiancé behind. She forced her way into a carriage stopped outside, probably one called for a different nobleman, and ordered it to take her home. Mel's assumption was correct. The only place she had to return to was the mansion. The sun was beginning to set, and as a young lady she could not simply go wandering through town alone, nor did she have any acquaintances to take her in. Her world was, in essence, composed of two elements, her brother and the rose garden. They were the light of her life at Rose Manor. She lived a very isolated existence. When she escaped back home, Nellie went straight to her room, locked the door, and began sobbing. The waves of her sorrow came crashing effortlessly over the levees. Tears streamed through the cracked walls of the dams blocking her tear ducts. Why? Why won't you help me, Mel? Why won't you take my side? The decor in her room appeared blurry through her damp eyes. Memories of the day she had it redecorated played back in her mind with crystal clarity. She told me she had no feelings for you. That liar! That liar! She let her emotions run wild, breaking glass craftwork, silver plates designed by famous foreign artisans, flower vases, all sorts of things. It was as though a beast had been set loose in her bedchamber. The vase she tossed shattered against a painting hanging on the wall, spraying water, porcelain, and roses in every direction. It was the portrait she adored so dearly, of her and her brother. And in what appeared to her like a metaphor for her life, the frame fell off its mounting and came crashing to the floor. Nellie darted over and scooped it up. The frame had broken, but the painting inside was unharmed. The two smiling children were still the very image of happiness, inseparable siblings gently holding one another's hand. My prince is no more. Though in her present state of mind, that image of happiness brought her nothing but misery. And the worse she felt, the more frustrated she grew at the smiling girl and kind boy of her past. The princess is no more either. You're not a princess anymore, Nellie. Some other woman has taken your place. I trusted you, Mel. I believed you would always be there for me. This painting is nothing but a lie. That's not the real Mel. That's not the real me. It's all a big fat lie. A lie. I wish this painting never existed. That it was never made. That I never had a brother. This painting. In a fit of emotional distress, she scratched feverishly at the painting she once considered precious. She put more force into her fingers than she, or perhaps anyone, might have imagined she could. Flakes of paint began falling off the canvas, and in time she noticed something peculiar. Huh? What is this writing? Something's hidden beneath the paint. Just a little more. A date? Why would that be hidden? What could it be for? Completed May 1587. 1587? She read aloud the faded, scratched-up handwriting. After staring blankly at the text for some time, the color in her face began to drain. What is this? How could this have been painted 16 years ago? I wasn't even born yet then, and Mel would have just been a baby. Is this not me? Is this not Mel? There's still more writing. Urged on by her rapidly pounding heart, Nellie furiously scratched away at the painting. Even as her clean pink fingernails were soiled with fragments of paint and blood, she did not stop. She was so overwhelmed by trepidation that she could not stop. She had a horrible premonition that something was about to happen. something indescribable, incomprehensible. This, this is how I envision your son and our unborn daughter might look several years from now. Your son and our unborn daughter. So this was a painting of the future. Then it really is of me and Mel. No, use your head, stupid. I'm only 14. 16 years ago, I would not have even been inside Mother. But then, who is this? Who is that holding Mel's hand? Who is that with my brother? More, there has to be. Ow! I found it. There's more writing. I have to know what this is. Calm down, Nellie. It's nothing to get worked up over. Sure, it's nothing. Calm down and read. There's nothing to worry about. If our unborn child, this is what the writing on the painting said. If our unborn child does not have your hair color, then you will probably not be able to take her in as your own. I will be punished and my life made miserable. And so I pray that this child might have flaxen hair. Though is it a sin to wish she has in her a trace of me? I do hope it is a girl. What am I reading? I don't get it. Someone tell me, what does this mean? A painting from 16 years ago. Hair color. Sin. I do hope it is a girl. Yes? It's Nellie. Let me in. Lady Nellie? Oh, you changed out of your dress. That's a shame. It looked nice on you. It really did look so nice. Almost like you were a princess. Lady Nellie? Say, I've got a question for you. Do you mind? By all means. What color hair did your father have? I beg your pardon? Did you not hear me? Should I repeat the question? No. I assumed it would be about Lord Mel. I am just so curious about where you got that white color from. My father was more tan than white, so I didn't inherit my paleness from anyone. I asked about your father's hair color. Why would you want to? There's no reason you can't tell me, is there? My father had white hair, but that was simply because he was an older man. I do not think he was born with... Ha! Ha! Lady Nellie? Woo! Huh? Hey, guess what? I figured it out. I figured it all out. And it was so simple. There's only one difference between you and me. The thing that Mel fell for is... Why do you have those? No, stay back! We have finally reached this point in the tale, Master. If your memory has been refreshed, then we can return to the mansion immediately. Very well, then. If you insist, Master, we shall proceed with the story. It was a stormy night, much like the one the white-haired girl had first arrived on. It was quiet as a crypt in the mansion, not a single light visible in the halls. The house sat in wait for the sun to peek out over the horizon. The darkness is, generally speaking, something that rushes by like a gust of wind as we sleep. A flaxen-haired young man, too, lay in bed, pale blue moonlight sporadically streaming through the gaps in his drawn velvet curtains, as he attempted to submit to slumber. He was having difficulty drifting off, but as time trickled onward, he drew closer and closer to the arms of Morpheus. Suddenly, he sensed a presence in the room, much like the one from those nights some weeks earlier. Someone there? Answer me. A slender, feminine finger pressed gently against his lips. There was no hostility in the motion, but rather a great deal of affection. You're... The silhouette faintly visible in the dark room was the same as that night. A flash of lightning shone through the drawn curtains, illuminating her beautiful white hair. Several silky locks spilled over her shoulders and brushed against Mel's cheeks. A couple soft puffs of air tickled his face as though she were silently laughing. He assumed her finger, held against his lips, was her way of telling him to stay quiet. She began to slowly, delicately trace the outline of his mouth, moving down his cheek and along his jawline as if over porcelain. You're, rather more forward than I remember. Well, I suppose you always were quite daring. This isn't the first time you've sneaked into my bedchamber, the boy said in an attempt to conceal his surprise. Do you remember the night she came to exact revenge on him for her father? Indeed, she had proven herself to be a rather bold girl once already. It's dark, I can't see you very well. Why don't I light a lamp, or perhaps we could open... Before he could finish, the white-haired girl sealed his lips with her own. In the near total darkness of his bedchamber, the two shadows appeared as one. They remained that way for several minutes. Their kiss was innocent, no more than the pressing together of two pairs of lips. And at the same time, the white-haired girl lovingly ran her fingertips across his skin. When their lips separated, Mel gasped for air. It seemed he'd been holding his breath. Slightly embarrassed at himself, he said, "Dearest Mel." Nothing. He could not speak. The silhouette hanging above him was certainly the white-haired girl's. Or was it? Because his next words were, "Get off me!" He reflexively shoved the girl straddling him aside. She rolled off the bed, landing on the cold floor, but slowly, gradually, she crawled her way back toward him. That wasn't very nice. Veiled in darkness, she slowly lifted her head. And then, there was another flash of lightning. The heavy fabric of the curtains rustled, bolts of light streaming between the gaps. Her flaxen irises glimmered, though in the bluish-white light they took on a twinge of almost golden glow. No need to be so rough. This isn't the first time she's visited your bedchamber, is it, Mel? Or did I not kiss you the same way? Tell me, how does she run her fingers across your skin? What does she do when she nuzzles up to you? Stop! Stop this madness, Nellie! Why? Why would you do this? Because you like white hair, don't you, Mel? You like white hair, which is why you fell for her, isn't it? So if I have white hair, then you'll fall for me too. Then I can be your princess again, dearest Mel. What? What are you even talking about? He could not escape from her, from his sister's piercing gaze. Why? What happened? How could she? Questions crashed into the young man's mind like waves in a stormy sea. But none of them found answers. They simply caused him further perplexity. Your hair? What happened to your hair? How did you get it that color? Oh, this? You like my wig? But as soon as the words left her mouth, Mel was in motion, propelled by pure instinct. He clenched Nellie's shoulders tight enough to dig his fingers into her flesh. You're hurting me, Mel. What did you do to her? Tell me, what did you do? I made her leave. It was a perfectly reasonable decision. She was obviously not nobility, and thus hardly fit to be a part of this household. But there's no need to worry, Mel. I'm here to take her place. You sound like a mad woman. Doesn't matter if she was of noble blood or not. She promised you'd stay by my side. So why? How could you do that to her? I promised you that long before she ever did. And I love you far more than she did, Mel. Have you lost your mind? You're not making any sense. Where is she now? What is she doing? It's always her with you. What more could you want from me? Tell me, what does she have that I don't? What do I have to do to get you to focus on me and only me? We're siblings. Don't you understand what you're doing? Oh, I understand it quite well. Far better than you do, dearest Mel. I even know that a former queen was executed for it. But if we don't get caught, there's no problem. Nellie, are you saying you've always felt this way about me? Oh my, you didn't notice, dearest Mel? You truly are a dense one. I guess romance just isn't your strong suit. But you've noticed now, haven't you? You know exactly how I feel about you, right? Quit it. Enough. Don't say anything else. Stop. Stop having these insane feelings for me. It's disgusting. What are you laughing about? Poor Mel. Content in your complete ignorance. All right, I'll tell you everything. Mel, you can only love blood-related women. Huh? His cackling sister appeared to him like some kind of inhuman life form. Her actions and incomprehensible exclamations slowly drained him of his strength. What kind of deranged nonsense is that? I love her. She's your sister, Mel. Ha! Very funny. How far out of your mind have you gone, Nellie? Poor Mel. Do you honestly know nothing? Say that her father was a painter? He painted pictures for a living. What of it? For a time, her father painted for our family. You've seen the picture before, dearest Mel. The one hanging in my room of the two of us. That was painted by her father. He did a good job, didn't he? I kept asking and asking until you finally agreed to hold my hand. And how did you feel about that? You were rather embarrassed, weren't you? Do you remember that day, dearest Mel? You couldn't possibly remember it. But there's a chance you might remember this. Before we moved to this mansion, we had a painter with white hair. I don't remember any such thing. He was, long ago, a painter in service of the Rhodes family. But that painter did something very, very bad, and because of that, he couldn't remain a part of our household. Do you know what he did, Mel? He lay with Mother. My father was chased from your house. If the child had been born with flaxen hair, then the painter would not have been thrown out. The baby would have been accepted as part of the family. But that wasn't how it turned out. The child had white hair. She didn't look at all like she carried the Rhodes family blood. But see, Mother had me. That I'm here is all the proof you need. The girl born 16 years ago didn't have flaxen hair. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his hands through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. You're talking total nonsense. What proof do you have? If you want to see it, I'll gladly show you. The artist left a message in the painting in my room. Tell me, am I truly wrong? What did that girl tell you? You're lying. What part of it is a lie, Mel? Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Why don't you go ask Mother? I'm sure she would throw quite the fit. Mother wouldn't. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite, she took me in as a servant. It never made any sense to me. Why would she hire a maid she knew nothing about? Someone who just showed up at the door one day. And then I asked Mother to make me her maid, and she stubbornly refused. From a good house? Don't make me laugh. If she were really nobility, she would have given us her name. But Mother was so desperate to cover up her mistake. that doesn't make any sense. I don't believe a word you're saying. It couldn't possibly be true. Wouldn't it be nice if you could bury your head in the sand? Mel, feigning ignorance is a sin. No, I refuse to believe it. Not a chance in hell. You just don't understand anything. How I feel, how much I've suffered. Do you have any idea of how long I've loved you? Knowing that you would never accept my affection. But then, fancy that. You fell in love with your half-sister. Then I should qualify for your love too. Shouldn't I, Mel? Stop it, enough, shut your mouth. Not another word. I don't believe any of this. Mel! I know you'll never love me. I know there's nowhere for me to run. Say, when we were kids, was that really me? Was I really by your side, Mel? That painting tells the whole truth. I was never once did I get to be your princess. Not even once. Dearest Mel, everyone just loves to dote on me. They're always telling me how pretty I am. Mother does, Father does, and all the maids do too. I can do anything I want. So for me, acting like a spoiled child is the only form of rebellion I have. I don't have the kind of freedom you do, Mel. I'm just a doll for the family to play with. When I have visitors, it's only ever for show. So it's not my fault that I don't have friends. Dearest Mel, you're the only one who's ever cared about me more than anything in the world. Dearest Mel, I always knew how I would react if you fell in love. I would cry my eyes out. I would envy her to death. I would get angry as a bull. But eventually, I would have given up. I knew I could never have it my way after all. My feelings would never bear fruit. So why did she have to be your sister? Tell me, why? Oh, dearest Mel, here you are again reading such hard books. Your eyes will go bad if you spend too long staring at pages. I'll be fine, Nellie. It's not like I'm reading 24 hours a day. No, that's not good enough. Your eyes go bad, dearest Mel, you won't be able to see me anymore. You worry too much. I can see you fine and well, my princess. Your hair glimmering like the sun, and your beautiful smile. I can see you clear as day, and that'll never change. Plus, the skies are clear today, so you're even more radiant than usual. You know, this is my favorite season. Winter's cold and there's so much rain, I can't stand it. But as it gets closer to my birthday, the clouds go away. And I just adore the sun. Ah, yes, it's almost your birthday, isn't it? Have you decided what you're going to ask Father for? Not yet. I want pretty dolls and shoes with sparkling gems. And I also want a pretty dress like the ones Mother wears. A list that long is asking a bit much, even for Father. But dearest Mel, I already have what I want the most. So the truth is, as long as I have that, I don't need anything else. Oh, and what would that be? The hairpin they bought for you the other day? Or maybe the song they had written for you last year? None of that, dearest Mel. Huh, and what could it be? Now I'm really curious. What is it that's so valuable to you? That's a secret. Girls have so many secrets, I just don't know what to do. Say, dearest Mel, would you run your fingers through my hair? for a little bit. What's gotten into you, Nellie? Why are you so hungry for attention all of a sudden? Please, dearest Mel. Oh, Nellie, what am I going to do with you? Come over here. And I want to sit on your lap. Yes, yes, as you wish, my beautiful, beautiful little princess. Say, dearest Mel. What is it this time, Nellie? Right now, I'm so incredibly happy. Oh, and out of curiosity, who was it that you really cared so much about? Ah, ah, ah! In a fevered frenzy, Mel fled from the mansion. Even in early summer, the night was cold. And to make matters worse, raindrops pelted him from head to toe. But that caused him little discomfort, for a far greater maelstrom of pain rampaged within his breast. At night, the town took on a different appearance. Not simply for lack of illumination, but the people active within it as well. It was not a suitable place for a young aristocratic man to go wandering unattended. The darkness is not only the abode of devils, but of beggars, thieves, criminals, and all manner of things undesirable. But despite that, he continued to run, knowing not where he was to head. He simply went where his feet took him, and where he arrived was the church. Father! Father! God should be able to offer me counsel, to answer all my questions, about that painting, about her, and about Nellie's feelings. Not her lies, but the truth. Please, open the door! Ah! Open the door! But as you might expect, the door was locked, and the priest showed no sign of responding to his calls. The sound of the pouring rain drowned out everything else. His head drooped feebly. He looked like a helpless little calf who had wandered alone onto a dark, precarious mountain path with no end in sight. Why? Why won't anyone tell me the truth? All I want is for someone to tell me it's not true. Have I sinned? No, I didn't know anything. I didn't know. No, none of it's true, so I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not at fault, am I? Nevertheless, his sister's claims and her laughs continued to echo within his head. If he truly believed it to be false, he would have gone to look at the painting. That he could not was an indication that uncertainty had a stronger grip on him. Fragmented images of a white-haired painter fluttered through the back of his mind, but he desperately shoved them aside. What good is the church? What good is theology? What good is God? What? Something moved near the boy. It stood immediately behind him and grasped his light dressing gown. He had been so consumed in his own world that he had not noticed the person's presence until they were close enough to touch him. What? Who are you? Standing there was a beggar dressed in tattered rags. He's still begging at the church? The hooded beggar tentatively extended his hand toward Mel, pleading for relief with sad, slender fingers. Were he a generous young man, Mel would have given the beggar something. Were he generous, of course. Lord, get your filthy hands off me. I don't have a damn thing to give you right now. Don't you dare touch me. Suddenly, the beggar's head turned upward. My eyes catch the beggar's. Her hood fell back, revealing a hairless head. Why? And a pair of red eyes gazing bitterly, but with a familiar, distinctive glimmer at Mel. Red eyes. She immediately covered her face and turned to run. It can't be. The beggar that's always been here was a... But you said yourself that they would not survive much longer. How could you be certain she was that same beggar? Wait for me! Perhaps, as someone of such high social standing, all beggars appeared the same to you? Or perhaps you wanted to believe your meager generosity made a difference, that you did something of value. I will not say it is wrong to think so. Wait for me! I chase after the fleeing girl. Though I shout for her to stop, she continues to run. The rain is so heavy I'm afraid I might lose her. I'm terrified. But I didn't do anything wrong, did I? I'm begging you, please stop. I just want to talk. She comes to a stop at a corner. Please do not go around this corner. It's you, isn't it? I am sorry. Why are you apologizing? What I said back there was terrible. For that, I'm truly sorry. I didn't realize it was you. Please come back to me. If you're concerned about social status, I'll figure something out. And Nellie's getting married off soon enough. Oh, yes, Nellie. Nellie did some horrible things to you. She's lost her mind. She was talking nonsense. Don't worry, she'll be out of the picture soon enough. I'll make sure you're safe. Say something, please. Are you angry? You're angry, aren't you? I am not angry at you. I am not. Did you know everything? Did you come to our house aware of everything? What? Did you? Tell me, please. The priest isn't around, and everything Nellie says is a lie. You're the only one who will tell me it's not true. What are you? A relationship? I don't understand what you're saying. I see. You don't know. You don't know. It's for the best. Nellie's the only one who knows, and she'll be gone before long. Everything will be all right. Lord Mel. It'll all be all right. Let's go back and make sure you're never put in danger again. I'm begging you, stay with me. My appearance is no longer suitable to stand at your side. You saw how unsightly I am back by the church, did you not? Hair can grow back. That's not a problem. Now I truly look the part of the hideous witch. But I am to blame. It was a sin for me to find happiness in your kindness. What are you talking about? My sin was falling in love with you. Not what happened to my father, nor how we had to spend our days. There's no sin in that. We have our whole lives ahead of us, don't we? With enough time, this whole tragic mess will be behind us. Things will only get better from here. I'll be your prince, like the one who took the girl to see the outside world. So please, give me your hand. Come to me. Don't leave me all alone. I need you by my side. Please. I extend my hand around the corner. I sense her hesitating beyond the bend. I'm begging you. I can't see what's on the other side, but a vision of her reaching out to put her hand in mine wells up in my mind. But that story never had an ending. What? She doesn't take my hand. I doubt the girl ever wrote that letter. Uh-huh. She's not there when I turn the corner. Why? How did things end up like this? Where did I go wrong, oh God? Your error was likely your kindness, thoughtlessly, haphazardly spreading your generosity. But that generosity came from your own desire to avoid pain, your own happiness. What should I have done? I can't take this. Everyone was happy. Nellie used to laugh and smile. She once meant the world to me. How did things end up like this? It's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. If you pretend like nothing happened, then perhaps they can go on smiling in your head. But regardless, you must follow the path you tread. It is your path alone, the path you chose when, In that moment, you decided to run. Make the wrong choice in those moments, and you shall find yourself on the road to ruin. I would have been better off not knowing, better off in the dark. I just wanted those tranquil days to last. They were supposed to last forever. At some point, your childhood must come to an end, and that ending may not be the one you anticipated. I can't stand this world. You yearn for a world that would treat you with kindness. What should I do? What should I have done? Someone, please help me. You should return now. If you spend too long out here, you're liable to catch a cold. Now, let us return to our own time. The crestfallen young man faded into the distance, and the decrepit double doors clacked shut. Through the shattered glass, the departed could see only the ruins of a garden, not a single rose growing within. He had evidently returned from the past. In the garden, weeds grew taller than people. He found it difficult to look at. A wolf howled in the distance. The children, the sea of roses, and the white-haired girl were nowhere to be found. The departed and the maid who called him master were the only people present in the mansion. A vicious tale. What happened to them? What happened to them next? Oh, master, you would know better than I. I do not. Nothing is coming back to me yet. My, you cannot remember? It seems this is quite serious then. Worry not, my loyalty lies with you, master. The mansion has witnessed more yet. Let us make our way to the second door. The departed's hand in hers, the maid guided him back through the kitchen and into the tea room. Her palms were still cold. The departed felt as though he were clenching ice. Master, do you wish to know the truth, no matter what may be hidden within? Or, if it is something you would be happier not knowing, would you rather remain in the dark? I do not know, but something tells me I will not get anywhere if I do not find out. Oh, is that so? I wonder about their father. Yes, the flaxen-haired sibling's father. Do you think he knew about the white-haired girl? If he did, then perhaps he allowed her to stay because of how deeply he loved his wife. Or maybe because he did not want people to find out about her. I expect he too experienced many different emotions. Those pages of his story remain untold. Their parents likely had a turbulent tale as well, but theirs is not of consequence. To whom? To whom? I could not tell you. The departed and the maid crossed through the entrance hall, continuing their trek. At some point, the fire in the fireplace had faded to embers, emphasizing the lack of light within the mansion. The maid took a candlestick and lit it in the cinders. A small flame illuminated her pale face. There is still hardly a trace of life in her. I want to know more about her. Please tell me about yourself. About me? I am a maid devoted to your service, master, as I have said. That is not enough information. What is your name? Oh, what was that? You are interested in my name? You flatter me. I truly do appreciate the question, but you are more than welcome to simply call me the maid. Also, it made me much happier to hear you say my name after you have recalled who you are, master. So you won't tell me. A subtle smile rose to the maid's face, after which she began to lead the departed down the first floor corridor. Still holding the maid's hand, he passed in front of a full-length mirror. In it reflected the warm light of the candle. Oh my, is something the matter? Did you come across something peculiar? The mirror. There was no reflection in it. The maid had not appeared in the mirror, for she was not the only one without a reflection. The part had reached the end of the corridor. There appeared to be a doorway, but the door itself was long since gone, leaving only a hole in the wall to frame the stairs behind it. An unpleasant place. Without hesitation, the maid descended into the darkness. You have more interest in this mansion, master, than in a mere maid, do you not? Though it pains me to say as much in your presence, master, this house is cursed. Cursed? Yes, it is a curse that runs deep. As you just bore witness to, the majority of those who dwell within these walls fall into misfortune. I have served here for many years. Periods of happiness are as fleeting as a sugar cube and a cup of hot tea. Why did such tragedies befall them? If I were to guess, master, it was because you had not returned. But when you remember your true self, the mansion's curse should be broken. The next door is before us. It appeared to be the entrance to a cellar. The disconsolate wooden door was visibly rotten in several places, and seemed it might crumble at a single touch. The party could hear the sound of something devouring meat beyond the door. Maybe there was a beast living within. The stench, sickening. I don't think it's wise. Before the departed had a chance to say he thought it was dangerous, the maid opened the door with a chilling smile on her face. The departed's first impression was that it smelled of blood. The second door. 1707. And that seems like a perfect place to stop off. Right at the beginning of the next chapter. So I think that's enough tragedy for one night, as fun as it is. Just gonna leave you guys to chew over that story there, and I'll be back tomorrow. Let's just get on out of here. Close that, do that. And yeah, so that was Morgana. We're through with the first door, so we've moved forward in time, I think, almost 100 years. We're going to get quite a different type of story from this door. Really good one. All of them are really good. And yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll be doing the same damn thing. And good night.